Hello again, and yes, it's me again, Whiskey River, with another Path of Titans video. Playing the Tyrannotitan on the Arizona server. Got some clips here of me fighting some packs and how I'm dealing with the aloe packs and the dilo packs in this case. Same kind of thing goes with pretty much any mid-tier pack, and then the larger sub-apex packs. Um, the biggest tip I can give you on these, what's helped me the most, is using terrain to my advantage. Big Quill's a really good area to fight packs in because there's bushes and rocks, and there's bushes that hide rocks, and there's little cliffs like the one that I'm on here. There's walls you can get up to. There's a lot of stuff you can do to protect your backside. Because if you played the Tyrannotitan, you know this thing is like driving a bus with two trailers hooked on behind it. It's got even worse turning radius than a T-Rex, which I didn't think was possible to do, but Alderaan managed it with this guy. Let me tell you, you have to do like about a 16-point turn to turn around a 180 on this thing. So you really need to use your tail, juke if you want to use juke, but you've got to use terrain and stuff like that as well. Even if you use juke, it's not going to be, the magic bullet that helps you, because these players are learning how to fight against a Tyrannotitan. They know how to predict the juke pretty well. So in this clip here, I was hunting. I was trying to find something to eat. I had left Green Hills, and I was just trying to. I was gonna head back up north, I think, at this point. But I try to stay near where there's salt rock, because critters don't do anything for your hunger level, really. And I think you spend more energy chasing them down than they even give you back in a level on your stomach. But anyway, I ran into these guys. I saw them. I was kind of playing coy a little bit. I was hoping that they would come try to hunt me, because I can't really chase them down. If I tried to hunt them and they didn't want to, I knew they would just run away. So I was sort of trying to like make it look like I didn't want to fight, so that they would hopefully attack me, and they did. Now these guys were smarter than most, and they end up running away instead of trying to fight to the death to save their lives, which, good on them. And I didn't get my meal. But basically what I try to do is just focus this one here. I know he's the one I would tail whacked off the cliff, and he's low. So I'm trying to catch him, but he's running. So I'm trying to keep pressure on him, because I know that at least the bleed's going to be doing massive damage to him, and also the ones that are chasing me. I've hit them all with bleed, so I know that even if I'm running, if they're running after me, then it's gonna be doing damage to them as well, rather than just sitting around standing still. But once I run out of stamina, I just find a place like this where I can protect my back and try to get them to come in. And as long as I'm trading here, like that one's got red eyes, so he's 50%. And as long as I'm trading, I'm going to be okay. I know I can damage these guys more than they're going to damage me. They do get me pretty low, but I know they're all low as well. And so I'm going to get into a really good spot and make them come in, and then trade with them as much as possible. I am using the defense call here. I've been kind of walking around with fresh blood in the defense call, because it seems to be the best defensive setup. So if you get surprised or ambushed or something like that, I think that's the best setup for you to have, because if you're going to get surprised or ambushed by something, it's either going to be a Rex or it's going to be a pack like this that gets you pinned down somewhere, and you're not really going to probably be able to utilize the blood chilling terror call, because they can just avoid you and go sit down and sit the bleed off anyway. And you need something that's going to give you a little extra defense, so you can survive a little bit better in these trade-offs. And at that point, they just gave up and they ran off, so I'm sitting the bleed off and going to get my stand back. Now, just after that, I heard some more aloes. I thought it was the same ones at this time, but I'm not sure if it was, because they kind of had slightly different markings on their skins. But here they are creeping up, and there was a blue one, there was a gray one, And there was kind of like that black and whitish one, but I don't remember seeing the one with like the yellows on. So I don't know if this is the same group or not. Sometimes people change their skins too, so you never know. But it was in the same exact area, and I hadn't fully healed up yet. I kind of think they knew that, so they were trying to like, bank on the fact that I was maybe still hurt. I had quite a bit of health though. I had enough to fight these guys. So in this case, I'm going to play a lot more defensive. I've got a really good spot here tucked into this wall, and so I'm going to use that to the best of my advantage and play the waiting game on these guys. I think time's really on my side, especially if these guys are hungry. I think I can probably force them to give up, or maybe even get a kill on one of them. With aloes, I actually prefer not to get a kill because the aloe bodies are bugged. These EXA aloes, they're bugged right now, and they last for like way too long. Like when I get one of these bodies down, I go do some work, or I vacuum the house, or I do something productive because it sucks sitting on an aloe body. So I try not to kill them. But I mean, I really couldn't be in a better spot. I mean, it's very hard for them to get in and out. They potentially could take fall damage trying to do what they're doing, getting in behind me. And so I'll poke out here and there and get some hits, but this is where I'm going to set up camp for a little bit here until I can get these guys to give up or get a kill. So I'm trying to pressure them. I don't want to just sit there the whole time. I want to do some combinations of both chasing and pressuring. When I have stamina, I'll chase and pressure as much as possible and get them to chase me because they're bleeding, so the bleed will do more if they're running. And it also gets them kind of scrambled around and scattered around, and they can't, gather up a cohesive plan or a real good strategy. If I'm standing in one place, they can kind of start devising some strategy on how to get me out or how to get me. But if I'm moving around, they don't know where I am. I can move from one place to the next. Yeah, then I bump into this guy, and it was a little bit irritating. I forecalled. As soon as I saw him, I forecalled because I'm like, okay, if I forecall, when I'm in this situation as a Titan and I see another Titan hunting, I know that if somebody forecalls, all we have to do is stay out of line of sight. And you can read the profile, which is what everybody's supposed to do anyway when you're playing a dinosaur. And I know it's new, and sometimes it's easy to forget like the little details, especially when it's a unique dinosaur like this one that has some different things like wayfaring and stuff that's unique that doesn't really have anything in common with other dinosaurs. But at the same time, if you are new, just recognize that and try to remember maybe you do have a mistake, because this person was, and even if it wasn't the rule, but basically the rule is if you see another one, you have to 3-call, and if they 4-call, then the one that 4-calls just has to stay out of line of sight. It doesn't have to leave the POI. And so even if it did have to leave the POI, if I saw the hunt going on, I would have either, if it was the same species, and I know I can't third party it anyway, but if it's not the same species, if I was hungry, I might third party. But if it's the same species, I can't third party anyway. So I would just 3-call and move on, or maybe I would even just 4-call. Be like, you know what, this dude looks like he's busy. He's getting hunted. I'll just 4-call and leave, and come back another time. I mean, it's not like it's Grand Plains or Savannah where it's like a really, lucrative hunting ground or anything. This is Big Quill Lake, for goodness sake. I mean, it's a desert. Nobody's ever here. It's not like this is a prime real estate for hunting. So there's no real reason to want to claim this territory. So this dude was just trying to be a jerk, in my opinion. He stays around here and he just continuously 3-calls me, and he's like, in the area. I'm holed up right here in this corner, and he can see what's going on. And like I said, if it was me, I would have just 4-called and left the line of sight and maybe sat behind a rock or something and kind of watched the fight. But this person wanted to continue to 3-call me and try to, I guess, chase me off. I think he thought I was supposed to leave the area, but like I said, even if so, like, have some courtesy, man, for a fellow player that's obviously busy. So I'm not gonna let him pressure me too much. I know I'm going to have to deal with it, but at the same time, I'm not going to give up my terrain advantage. These dudes are trying to sit down, sit the bleed off, so I'm just going to continue to pressure them and not let them gather, regroup or anything like that as much as possible. And I can tell they're scared now. They're running, they're bumping into each other, they're running into rocks, they're bleeding, and they realize they probably bit off more than they can chew at this point. Hey, buddy, what you doing over here? No, 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 no sitting down, no sitting down for you. Oh, look, they've even got a little baby there. So they were trying to feed their family. Good on them. They did the best they could. But here comes old Mr. Territory over here, still following me around, trying to call me. He sees that I'm kind of busy at the moment, and yeah, So you got not the most kind and courteous players out there sometimes, which can be irritating, but you just got to deal with it. So I'm trying to go up to the cliff. Yeah, here he is. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Wonderful. I think what happened that was in my favor was I think the aloes realized the dude was just being a jerk, and they're like, you know what, let's go. And they were low too, anyways. They were low. They were a couple of them were smoking and had red eyes and whatnot. So either way, it was a GG's. They ended up giving up the fight, and I was just kind of like having a little chat with this dude, to say, hey man, I'm kind of busy. Can you please have a little bit of courtesy? And I don't know. He makes a bunch of excuses, and it was just kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I just ask that the community be nice to people and be kind. And if you see somebody that's busy, I mean, if you're hungry and you can hunt, by all means hunt me and kill me, like get it over with. But if it's a situation like that, a fellow Titan, you can't hunt your own species anyways, it's a line of sight type deal, just let the guy fight, I mean, have a little bit of courtesy is all I ask. I think if we all do that with each other, it'll be a much more fun place to play. There's a lot of rude and toxic people sometimes that come in and they can try to just make it a bad time for fellow players. And it is competitive. I know, and we all get competitive sometimes, and we kind of lose sight of the overall picture that we're all people, we're all loving this game together, we're all trying to have fun together. And so we should try to be respectful and courteous to one another as much as possible. It's sometimes, I know it's hard to do when you're like eating the the other player sometimes and you're attacking them. It doesn't seem like it's the most courteous thing, but there is some etiquette really. There's some fair play etiquette and that you could follow. Like I don't kill babies at waystones or people that are not even out of the teleport animation yet and still sleeping at a waystone, stuff like that. It's not against the rules, but I just particularly personally just don't do it because I think it's mean, and it's not even challenging. I mean, I play the game for a challenge. But anyway, enough of my rant on that. This is a Dilo pack. This is another one. Aloes and Dilos. Packs that bleed are crazy, but they're really hard to deal with, especially these guys, man. They're so squirrely and hard to hit. But that's why I'm using the water. Now, I swam defensively across that river the first time, but the second time I jumped in after the Dilo, so I aggressed him. And the rule says you can go back into the water offensively. You just can't run across it defensively. Like if you're getting chased, you can't just keep, go to one side and then go back to the other side and go back to the other side and keep doing that to run somebody out of stamina, So here I'm going after the Dilo that's across the river. See that Dilo by himself? I figure he's the easiest target. There's 5 on the other side and 1 over here by himself. So again, that's an offensive move. It's not running defensively, and I think that's okay. Now these guys said they're going to make a ticket on me, so we'll see what the moderators say. But I read the rules and it says you can't cross water more than once defensively, but it says you can do it if you're offensively chasing. And that's what I was doing in this case. I'm seeing somebody that's in a disadvantageous position like this guy, and I'm going to go in and offensively try to kill him, because they're going to either kill me. If I don't kill one of them, they're going to kill me. So now I've run out of stamina here. Now I know I can't use the water anymore. So until I get stamina back, so I'm going to go up and over into a better position at this point. So I've definitely got to recover my stamina to fight these guys with water or without. So that's what I'm going to do. If I can get a bite on this guy in the meantime, I will. But I'm going to get a position up here where I can fight defensively. This is probably the best Dilopack I've fought. I haven't had one kill me yet, but most of them are way too passive. These guys, like this one right here, this green one, was really good at tail riding me. He did a great job of staying behind me, and I was doing my best to knock him off the cliff. But you can see they were doing an amazing job. They actually did probably more damage to me than any of the other Dilos did. But I'm also doing a lot of damage to them. I've got them all bleeding really well, and you can tell they're going and sitting. Anytime I get a little stall in the fight like this, I'm going to use it the best of my advantage to, see, there he goes, boop, boop him off the cliff. So hopefully a gator comes by and nabs one of these dudes. I'm trying to use the environment the best I can. So if I had the defense call on at this point, I would have been better off because the bleed call is going to help, but these guys are so small and fast, they can just run off and go sit the bleed off, and I'm not going to be able to go find them or catch them. And as long as they have one around here engaged, then they can keep the fight going. That's why the small packs are the hardest to deal with, especially the more there are, like Serratos and Dilos, and they're really difficult because they're hard to hit, and then they can cycle stam and cycle sit, cycle bleed off. As long as you keep a combat timer on, they can't heal, but they can get stand back while you're kind of stuck in a spot like this. So once I get my stand back, I'm going to try to be aggressive again and try to get these guys to make a mistake and see if I can capitalize on it, because that's pretty much my only hope. So I remember this little corner right here, and I want to go down to that because this is a great little tight spot for me to fight on. Because down here they've got water on one side, they got a cliff on the other side they can't jump down off of without taking damage. And if I can knock them in the water, there's a cliff on both sides, and they're going to be in real trouble if they get into the water again. And this is a different river than the one over there that I already crossed, so I can cross this one defensively if I need to. But I'm going to go in offensively again anyways, and he's in between two cliffs. And it's just one bite and a heavy bite, and it's done. So that was a GG's. Of course, they want to say RB at the end. Did I cross water or whatever? They never mentioned it during the fight when they thought maybe they were going to win, but as soon as they lost one, of course, they cry RB instead of say GG. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes with these kids. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you out there in Gondola. Goodbye.